Hello everybody. In this video I am going to be reviewing my thermos collection. I would like to first give you a bit of a background of how my interest in thermoses began. So, growing up, my grandfather on my dad's side, he was an immigrant from China. He often drank warm water. I didn't really think much of it. He would always boil water, pour it into some type of thermos-like container. I don't know if it was a thermos brand, but it was a thermos type vacuum insulated carafe thing, and then he would pour water into his mug and drink it throughout the day. And when I was sick, he would give me, when he was living with me, or I would be up visiting him and I was sick, he would offer me warm water. Now, recently I have been trying to be more conscious about my weight, my eating habits, as you know, trying to be more conscious of, you know, of how much I eat, how I eat, and all that stuff. And I read somewhere that, you know, warm water specifically can help with digestion, constipation, and it helps with my GERD and heartburn, I've noticed. So I got back into the habit of drinking warm water, and that brought back memories of my grandfather. I also Googled a little further. I'm one of those people, once I get interested in something, I will try to find all the information that I can regarding that interest. So I started Googling benefits of drinking warm water. Then I found out it's an ancient traditional Chinese medicine practice to drink warm water, because in China, at one point in the ancient days, warm water was hard to come by. Those who could have access to a heating source for the water were, you know, of the affluent socioeconomic group, and it became later for more preference, cleaning. And I heard that in China, a lot of the default there is warm or hot water, whereas here in America and, you know, Western Hemisphere, it's ice water that is the default drink. And I've noticed when I'm going to sit-down Chinese restaurants, not every single location, but a lot of them will automatically give you a hot pot of tea or a pot of hot water. So in some Chinese restaurants, you may have to ask specifically for ice water. So that just brought back memories, and I'm filming this in April, so I'm maybe a bit late to the Stanley Cup craze. But my earliest memories of thermos was with a bottle like this. My mom had a thermos bottle, and this is not her thermos bottle. I think we sort of misplaced that when we were moving in 2002. But anyways, I got this off of eBay. This thermos is pretty much close to what I remember my mom's thermos to look like. I can't specifically say it's, you know, it's the same type, but I do remember seeing stripes. You know, I was young, so maybe to me it was a lot bigger because I was small. But this thermos that I got off of eBay is the closest thing that I remember to my mom's thermos, which she would, you know, drink, you know, when she was in the car or on the go. She was a freelance musician, so on many nights and weekends, she would be, you know, traveling throughout Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC, and the Mid-Atlantic region for music gigs as a strolling classically trained violin player. Anyways, I just hold on to this more for memory's sake, a vicarious memory. I don't actually use this thermos on a daily basis, but it's good to have something that reminds you of someone you love. Okay. Then I got a thermos brand thermos. This one is about like 20 ounces or 24 ounces. I started off with this one. What I like about thermoses in general, or these types of style, is that it holds hot water hot, it holds cold temperatures cold. So basically, it's supposed to basically hold the temperature of whatever you put in it, or food or liquid that you put in it. And it also has a cup with you as well. So like if you're out somewhere, you can, pour it, unscrew it, and you got your own, you got your own cup. You don't have to worry about a cup, and it can hold the temperature for quite a while. And I like these things because it's versatile in terms of the temperature, either cold or hot. Because if you get a plastic water bottle, depending on the plastic, you might melt the plastic if you put boiling hot water, whereas these things are made for reasonably extreme temperatures. I also got the 64 or 68 ounce thermos. It has water in here right now that I filled in yesterday. It is still warm about 20 hours later. This is my regular cold water bottle. It's the Hydro Flask with the straw. I found this at a thrift store. It's room temperature water. So the Stanleys, I pretty much got either off of Amazon or the Stanley website directly, and I've been collecting these, bit by bit ever since February, or late February, March. The other day I was at a thrift store and I got another Stanley thermos. It sort of smells a little bit inside, so I might be, I'm going to try to really soap it and wash it down to make sure it's okay. And then I think this was made in 2006. 2006. I got this for $20 at a thrift store. And it was the only thermos that I could find that was consistent with this type of thermos. So this thermos was made in 2022, and it is, let me see what it says on the bottom, 2.5 quarts. So I don't usually take this with me. I usually keep it at home, sip it throughout the day. But I like this one so far. It's very durable. It's a very strong handle. Got another legendary bottle. This one was made in 2021. It is 1.1 quart. On the bottom of the bottle, it usually tells you the year in two-digit year format and the liquid size measurements usually. I got a pink thermos. This one was made in 2023. It is 1.5 quart bottom. This Stanley thermos was made in 2023. It is also 1.5 quarts. This one is my most favorite. I like the color. My two top favorite colors are purple and pink. Again, the cup. And what I like about these thermoses, it's not like the modern day Stanley quencher where you flip it over, the water comes out of the straw. No. I flip these things over, and if I secure it tight enough, it will not leak. So, I guess you can say I'm very interested in thermoses. I'm one of those people who, once I'm interested in something, I get really interested in those things. And these things are practical, very practical. I got this thermos at Target. It is, let's see, this old thermos, this big thermos is 40 ounces, I think. And this one is in the 25 ounce range. This one I can put on the side of my backpack in that little, pocket for water bottles. And it's good. It has the cup. I can pour it. Okay. Then I got this one at a thrift store. I don't know the manufacturer. It has some type of graphics on here. I don't know if the writing on here is related to the characters that are printed here or the manufacturer. Either way, I can't tell. But what this thermos is different, because in order to pour it, you have to press something, and then it opens, and then you pour, and then it comes out. There's no liquid in here, and then you press the outer edges here, and then it's good. So this way, you don't have to worry about where you're holding it or where the stopper is. These other ones, you have to have the stopper in the right position to pour into the cup, because the stopper opens up at certain places as well as maybe where the handle is. So I got a couple of food jars by Stanley. I was recently watching the film The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck as the title character, and there was a scene he was having lunch, and someone he was working with also happened to be sitting next to him out in the courtyard of the business place or whatever, having lunch. And then they showed what appears to be a Stanley thermos. They did not show the brand, maybe copyright things, but a very similar thermos food jar like this, and it had a dent in it. And in the story, apparently the accountant had used his thermos to bang someone's head when he was escaping prison. And then in the movie, his coworker, notices the dent in the thermos, and she asks him, "What do you have to hit to dent a steel thermos?" And then he basically said, "It's just a hole." So this really reminded me of that. So yeah. Also, this Stanley thermos is very similar to the thermos that you saw Kramer in the Seinfeld series TV show use. I think he used it in the scene when there was the Jean-Paul, the runner. In the episode, he was having a hot tub, but he was also, I think I saw this in the episode where he was protesting H&H Bagels, where he used to work. So these food jars are wider mouth. They can hold like soup or other things that you need to have warm. I mostly use these things for soup. It has a cup. It can hold liquid, but the stopper isn't really, pouring water bottle friendly as these other thermoses. But I think this is versatile, because if you're standing, it's going to be a hassle to hold this and then pour this and then, put it back. This is something more like when you have a table or you're able to sit down somewhere and have a good stable surface to put these things on. Whereas these types of thermoses you can easily hold like Kramer did. One hand, unscrew it, grab the hold, and then pour. This, I poured hot water in this earlier this afternoon. It was about like 11:30 when I poured the water in here, and it is now about like, if I'm reading the clock correctly, between 5 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. It's hot. But one good thing about warm water is it also hydrates you. It warms you up from inside. My grandfather was always young looking. It helped with, skin health, gut health, vein health. It kept him as healthy as possible, despite, all his ailments that come with aging. He died in his 90s when I was in junior high school. He died in his 90s in 2004, which was the same year my mom died in her 50s when I was in high school. Anyways, this is my thermos collection. From a financial point of view and space in my apartment, I think it is best that I just keep my thermos collection here. Maybe once in a while, if I see something at a thrift store I might like, I may consider getting it. But I think I have enough thermoses here. Again, this is my most famous thermos because I think I just like this color. You know, it's a sturdy handle. The handle doesn't flail around too much. Whereas the Thermos brand thermos, the handle, it's very, you know, flippy floppy, or at least I find it. And then, like I said, when this type of water bottle with a straw that I can close and doesn't, you know, leak, I will use this hydro flask that I bought at the thrift store. Yeah, it tastes interesting drinking room temperature to cold water. But this thermos, you know, represents my mom's thermos, or is representative of what my memory is of my mom's thermos. So this will, you know, have this particular thermos will now have a special place in my heart, as it is symbolic of the memory that I have of my mom's thermos. Again, like I said, I can't specifically recall all the details of her particular thermos, but this thermos, you know, looks very similar to the best that I can remember. So this thermos has a little, I don't want to say straw, but as you pour it, it comes out of this thing here. And it's smaller, and I like to drink more water like this. So, you know, the food jar I might be using for food, some, you know, liquid when I know I'm going to have a stable, you know, surface to, you know, use it. Otherwise, these other ones, I can just pretty much unscrew. I gotta screw this thing back like Kramer did. So, I think, you know, these thermoses are very practical for both hot and cold water or liquids. These cups, you can use it to, you know, to share, like if you have a hot coffee or hot chocolate or something like that, and others you want to share with others, you have your own cup, but you can pour it in other cups. So this, I think, the thermos is very versatile. It has many uses, but of course there are, you know, exceptions when, you know, this type of bottle may not be, you know, for practical use. You know, if you're a person who really likes to drink while in the car or driving, this might not be, you know, as practical as this, where you can just pick it up and sip. Pick it up and sip. But again, it depends on what you're looking for. But for me, for my everyday life that I've been, you know, in the past 3 months post-COVID, for, you know, how my job is like, I'm mostly in the suburbs. I live and work in the suburbs, so I drive by car mostly, so that's also a factor. But for me, for my life and how I have everything arranged, these thermoses work out very perfectly. I encourage you to go out and find a thermos that, you know, meets your interests and daily needs. Stanley has a wide range of thermoses and bottles. You know, I don't know if they always use the term thermos because original thermos, but all of these type of vacuum insulated or legendary bottles, they're out there in many, you know, different colors. You can also get your own stickers and decorate them. I've seen pictures I think on Instagram someone had a Stanley food jar, and they put, per stickers that they like around it. So I think, yeah, and I've seen videos on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok of older versions of these thermoses that are still working like new. They're still working as they were intended. So for me, this type of, beverage holder really brings back memories of my mom and my paternal grandfather. So I do recommend. I know you may not be as a collector like I am, but please, I encourage you to consider getting at least one type of thermos, either like this or with the handle. Because think about it, you have your own cup. So I hope this review is wonderful. I pretty much love these thermoses. It's good because I was at a conference downtown a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't have much hot water, so I brought this thermos with me, and it was pretty good. And earlier this week, I had a all day long meeting out in the field, and I brought this thermos with me because sometimes I just never know when there might be hot water available, because again, in this country, in this hemisphere, cold water is the default for water fountains and bottle dispensers. So anyways, these are my thermos collections. I hope you consider getting at least one thermos. If you already have one, wonderful. Consider adding a new one to your collection. But otherwise, thank you.